Hey everybody, this is TJR.
This is Superfan.
If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. If not, welcome back. And and of course, joining us is
Sit up.
my little friend. Anyhow, there, sit up, buddy. We got this today. This is, of course, our March delivery for Vinyl Me Please.
Yay!
I'm subscribed. Yes, yay. I'm subscribed in the rock category. Go figure that. And this is
Now that
March's.
they have one.
Now that they have one, yes, they began it a little while back and recently, and I've been very pleased. And so this is March's selection of the month. And we're going to open this up here now, and we're going to take a look here. And let's pull this out. Ooh, a little tight. There we go. Ooh, my. We do have a little sticker first, and it says here, roll me up and smoke me when I die. And there's good old Willie Nelson there. But this is not a Willie Nelson album, but that's what we got for our sticker with this release here. And I guess you could, smoke something while you're listening to this one here. Not required, but I guess you could. But here we go. You've probably already seen it now. Heart and Little Queen. Let me read the card here, or the Obi strip, OBI. Heart, Little Queen. Lacquers cut by Barry Grint. AIR mastering, or air mastering. It's one or the other, I'm not sure.
Air.
Someone will correct this besides Superfan here. Pressed on exclusive 180-gram red and cream split vinyl. Listening notes booklet by Amelia Sutliff. Hopefully I've said that right. Operating with one of the most well-known guitar riffs in rock music. Heart's Little Queen starts with a growl, a burning guitar tone that sounds like it originated from deep in the belly of a colossal and untamed animal. Barracuda harbors the undeniable sound of rage. Not the strain of anger that renders you powerless and stewing, but the kind that burns so strong that it cuts you loose, lets you run free, and leaves you no choice but to win. The sound is so indisputable because it embodies Heart's origin story, one of wrath and the triumph that follows. So there we go. And here's the back cover here. We're going to open this up. This is, Vinyl Me Please exclusive pressing, as these selections of the month are. We're going to open it up here. It comes in its own resealable sleeve. There we go. Here's that OB card here. Let's set this aside for a moment. There we go. And you watch over that little guy. Here we are again. So first of all, as always, just an amazing job with the reproduction here. Steady, I should say sturdy, not steady, but very sturdy cardboard here, materials used. Here's the interior gatefold. And let's open this up. Here is the album. Black paper sleeve with poly lining. And it's colored vinyl, so let's take a look at the colors. And I think here we go, it's coming out. There we go. I was a little worried we might need the record butler to pull this out, but there it is. Red and white vinyl.
It's very Pokemon reminiscent.
Think so? I think it looks like candy.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah. It looks like I could lick it if I wanted to.
Well, I suspect
I won't
you
recommend
could,
it.
but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm not going to recommend it, no. But it does look that good. And here we go. Let's put it in here, back in the sleeve. Yeehaw. And let's take a look here. Set that down for just a moment. Take a look inside here. We're supposed to have listening notes in here. And, oh, I see there's another This side's not sealed. Here's where we have the listening notes. And this is of course exclusive to this. This is the exclusive booklet, liner notes. And again, I pointed this out the last time when I got this. I've noticed they do this here. You'll notice the very kind of, what color? Would you say this is yellow, this color, or would you say it's kind of cream colored? Okay, off-white. When you open this up, instead of brown cardboard, they color it the same, which I think is really neat. I noticed that with the Fleetwood Mac one. The interior was also white, and you could even see a little illustration of the penguin that you saw on the cover of the Fleetwood Mac album, the 1975 White Album, inside. And that's just a nice little touch that they do. Yeah, now that I'm holding just this, very sturdy. Wow, really nice. This one, I guess, does not have a print. Sometimes a lot of these come with an exclusive print. The Fleetwood Mac one came with an 8x10 photo.
Frank Schmidt, you got a Willie Nelson roll me up and smoke me when I'm dead sticker.
Yeah, I can't complain. I really can't complain about no print because, yeah, we did get this. And, you know, this has got to be worth something in somebody's book, I'm telling you. So here is the book, and let's take a look inside here. And words by Amelia Sutliff. And I'm not going to read any of this, but I'll just kind of give you a quick look inside. And it's red and white, continuing the theme of the album here. These booklets rarely have pictures, they're just text, but they're always worth reading. I always enjoy reading when I start to listen to these and give it the first listen. And so there we go. This is Vinyl Me Please, record of the month for March, Heart, Little Queen. And now I'm going to put it on the turntable. I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to come back and tell you what I think. I do have this album on CD. I've never owned it on vinyl ever. I only have it on CD, so I will compare it. And we'll be back in a little bit with a review. Okay, I am back. And so is Superfan.
Hey.
And Superfan had to go and run an errand right after we were done filming the first segment before some places closed up. And so I just listened on my own. Superfan said she trusted my judgment.
Kind of.
I've never really asked you. I mean, you're not really a Heart fan. I mean, I've got the Heart albums in my collection. You had none in your collection. Any thoughts on the band?
I never really got into them because the 70s stuff was before my time.
Yeah.
The 80s stuff I never really cared for.
Well, yeah, the 80s stuff, I didn't care for it either. And the 80s is when they lost their way, in my opinion. But it's when they had the most commercial success, actually, too, which is a shame to me. One other thing that I noticed was I pulled out my other CDs. Heart is a band that, of course, I was aware of in high school. I knew their hits, but I didn't really start getting into their albums till after high school, when I started going to junior college. The first album I got from them was Dreamboat Annie. The second was Dog and Butterfly, and the third was Little Queen. And for a while there, and I have some of their other albums too, I have their other classic albums too, but those were the first three I got. And oftentimes when I would go to my collection to listen to Heart, I kind of was always partial to Dog and Butterfly. I think that's because Dog and Butterfly side 2 is so amazing sounding, and it has my favorite song by them, which is Minstrel Wind. And that's probably why I always went for that album. But looking back now, after listening to this and comparing it to my other CDs, I realized that this is an extremely consistently good album in comparison to Dog and Butterfly and in comparison to Dreamboat Annie, which both those albums have amazing, amazing, amazing tracks on them. Just overall consistency from side 1 to side 2, from beginning to end, a much more consistently good album, in my opinion. now that I've had some time with these albums in the rearview mirror. I just thought I'd mention that too. But the 70s stuff, of course, is the great stuff. And they came back. They found their way in the mid-2000s. They began to produce some really good albums. I know a lot of their classic bands just didn't care at that point. And I would tell people, like, I remember Red Velvet Car when that came out. I told people, it's great. It's as good as any of this, classic 70s stuff. It didn't sound like the classic 70s stuff. It couldn't, because it was a different band by this time. You had the two sisters, Ann and Nancy, but they had a totally different band with them at that point.
Yeah, and they had changed.
They had changed too, yeah. So it could never sound like this, but it was just as good in my opinion. And I just think that a lot of the fans they wanted to hear that classic 70s stuff. And some of it at times got close to it and had some of that feel, but it was different. But I thought that in the mid-2000s,
I think that's the case in every album and with any band that lasts through generations.
Yeah, it's going to happen. But during the mid-2000s, they found their way back. And they found their way back to just being about the music, being a rock band, not this glitzy pop that they made in the 80s where they weren't involved in the songwriting almost hardly at all. They came back to being songwriters again.
And hopefully, because I know there were some battles going on, some family battles.
Yeah, I don't know all the drama or the soap opera behind it, and I don't want to know.
Ultimately, it's none of our business anyway, but I have heard they're touring again.
Yeah, oh yeah. Robert talked about that.
Hopefully they're working on new music too.
Yeah, I hope so too. Ann Wilson did a great album with a band called Trip Sitter, and they just called it Ann Wilson and Trip Sitter. And I would recommend you check that out. It's a great rock album. At any rate, though, so I listened to this. And of course, it's a Vinyl Me Please pressing. It sounded amazing. I pulled out my original CD and compared it. It was no contest, really. And it's kind of unfair, in my opinion, because I realized all my Heart CDs are old CD releases. I've never upgraded them. I'm sure that there has been like a remastering of this since I picked up this, probably with bonus tracks or something like that. But for whatever reason, it passed me by, and I've just got this original older CD. So there might be a better sounding version of this on CD that I would probably want to compare it to against this one here. But it was no comparison. This felt very just like squashed together like this, whereas this album, felt more like this, more expansive, more breathing room. You've heard me make these comparisons before. And such deep bass and such powerful drums, and just, breathing room between the instruments more than anything else, and just more power. Also, this album was really hot. I mean, in the levels. It wasn't over compressed, but it's very hot. As I played it for the first time, I also converted it to digital, and at times it would really peak into the red areas. Not constantly, but just you could see it peaking, which analog albums will do. And anyways, though, just absolutely amazing sounding. So if you've got Vinyl Me Please, hopefully you got this as your selection. Some of the recent ones they've done have sold out quick, like the Black Sabbath one they did just 2 months ago. I'll be curious to see how this one does, and I'm curious to see what comes next in the rock category. So stay tuned for that. I'll be checking these out and reviewing these as I go. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. And thank you, patron supporters. Patron supporters do get exclusive weekly videos not available on this channel. And
you are fierce and mighty.
Indeed. And we'll just see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.